Lads, I know it's still the intro, but do you want to hear new Hybrid Wave songs now or during the stream? Hey guys. Where is it? There it is. Hey guys. Daniel James here, and today is it is June the 20th. How is everybody doing? Did I remember to turn the microphone on? I feel like I didn't. Did I? Are we there? Are we live? Hey. Right. Let me see if that actually worked. And I think it did. Okay. I always forget to turn my microphone on. Right, we live. I feel like there's a bit more of a delay than usual, which is fine. But how is everybody doing? How was your week? How are your Hybrid Wave entries? Yes, I agree. The glasses are on for now. They will come off in a minute. They're for show. So have you guys been working on your tracks? Have you been, you gotten Vice? Good. You've got something on your head. This thing, my little crown, is my little gold crown. It's to hold all my plague hair back. You see, the thing is, there we go, glasses are off because I can't see shit. The thing is that the plague forced me to grow out my hair and beard, and now by choice I'm keeping them. Yes, I'm going full queen, full crown, full king, full queen. It doesn't matter. It's a gender neutral royalty. I am in charge. Anyway. So yeah, this past week has been productive for me. So I managed to finish some work, which was really good. I hope I can talk about that soon, because for me, it's really exciting. It's like what the job was, rather than like I didn't get paid a lot for it or anything like that. And it's nothing that you guys probably will ever hear, but it is the situation in which it happened, which is good. Go full to your next step, metal hair with, yeah, probably it's going to be all long. I'm probably going to do one of those things, like the problem is right now. And again, I'm sorry that this always turns into fashion tips. All I need is the hair that's right here, this side hair, to make it to here. And then once it does that, I can tie the sides back and it'll look like Viking hair rather than me having to shave it all, which is, as you go, the garbage bag. It's not so much a man bun, it's more of a side ponytail, because a man bun has everything kind of bunched into one. I'm not doing that. It's more like a samurai thing, I suppose. It's like the side goes back like that into a ponytail. This bit stays going down, this bit stays going down, that bit goes back but stays up. But tis what it is. Anyway, you didn't come here to talk about my hair. So what's been happening? So the past week I've been quite productive. So I've been working on a simple question. What is Hybrid Wave? Because we are trying to figure it out. And I was thinking to myself, so a lot of the experiments I did, I don't know if we could class as Hybrid Wave. If anything, they're more Some of them are pop, some of them are rock, some of them, you know what I mean? But I was trying things. I was trying things together to see what we could find. And anyway, I wanted to show some of those experiments to you today. Also, in my Discord, you guys recommended a piece of software called UJam Vice, which, if you don't know, and we will show it today on the stream, UJam Vice is it's a sample library where it's all like synthetic, drums and synthwave stuff like that. Anyway, it's the tone of it is on point, and that's the important point about it. Is the actual sound of it is what makes it good. It's the sound, you know? Like, so instead of trying to go through all my Leviathan, like dubstep bundles and all this kind of nonsense, trying to look for a drum which might work in these kind of synthy wave kind of vibes, it has the synthy wave vibe down anyway. Good thing for you guys, though, is it has a trial, 30-day trial, if you guys are going to check that out. But anyway, so I got that. I bought it with my hard-earned cash monies. I started playing with it, and I realized it was the right tone. Also, it's got like loops and stuff, but again, we'll cover that when we get to it. Anyway, so I tweeted out, like, hey, guys, I've never heard, I didn't know that UJam was a thing. Go check out Vice. And then UJam messaged me and were like, hey, can we partner up? I'm like, sure. And so they sent me the I almost said the Adidas. They sent me the Beatmaker bundle, which is all the drum ones. So we've got Dope, we've got Hustle, all of that stuff. All of that's coming. So we're going to be looking at that. So that's something we've got today. So we've got UJam. Obviously, last week when we were writing, we did briefly look at the Mosaic stuff. I do have more of that because I know some of you had some more questions and wanted to look at that a bit more. So we'll do a bit more of a brief look at that. And also, we got Perf Perk from Performance Samples, which is their new percussion library, which is recorded in such a way where, like, the rolls are kind of, they're not baked in, but they are like the fast 16ths are almost like, it's almost like percussion legato. You know what I mean? It's like they've recorded like the in-between bits of, with big fucking balls. No, they recorded like, well, you know, when you do a roll, when you're doing a roll, you're hitting the drum so fast that by the time the next stick comes down to hit it, the skin is already kind of resonating. You know what I mean? It's already making a noise. Like if you record silence, hit, down to silence, right? Every new hit will start with no resonance. I mean, it'll have the resonance from, the last sample, but the sound of the new drum isn't going to interact with the resonance of the previous. It's not going to interact with the air movement of the last snare, right? So it's going to be new sample, whereas they recorded it, as far as I'm aware, if this isn't how they recorded it, this is as the same end result. It's as if they've recorded it with the resonance in place. So the second, like the sample is recorded after hitting the drum once already, probably kind of thing. That's probably how you do it. So the samples have that natural kind of air movement of another drum hit coming through, which makes it feel a little bit more realistic when you're playing really fast. So you can be like, without it being a problem. But anyway, first of all, I wanted to go over these experiments with you. So you guys who have been, how many of you, by the way, are into hybrid wave? How many of you are giving it a try? How many lords do we have here? How many of you have been giving that a go? Because you're the guys who are mostly interested in that. And it's funny, I mean, like when I'm doing all the big orchestral stuff for which I am known, these streams can get like quite a lot of viewers. But when we're doing the hybrid wave stuff, it's a lot more intimate, but it's more fun. Yeah, we got some lords. Oh, God. Burped and spoke at the same time then. Right. So the first one I did was one called Deep Red, which you guys have heard, right? So this one's more, you guys have definitely heard of this one. But this one's more like a, I don't know what you'd say. It's more like just a chill driving song, yeah? And the point of this one was to try and get the feel of the drums. This is before I had Vice, by the way. I keep wanting to call it Neon. So if I call it Neon, I mean Vice. Did I show you this one already? So, you know, just, so we've got a melody. So that was one. That was one track. More of this? Yes, Demon. What are you hoping for, Demon? Out of interest, because I get that a lot. It's like, oh, we're doing this shit again. It's like, what shit? It's the stream is me doing my things. It's me doing me. I have no set plan. So when people say you're doing this again, it's like more of me. Yes. Yes, we tend to do my things on the stream. Right. Then I wrote one called Skyline, which is definitely more of a chill thing, right? Yeah. Okay. So yeah, that, like I said, that's why I wanted to call this one. That's why I called this. I'm probably going to call this album. I prefer the orchestral, but I guess this is what you're into now. I'm into, like, you see, that's where I feel it's a little, like, I'm not having a go at you, D-Man. Like, when people say that, it's like, some people prefer the orchestral stuff, and I'm it's funny because I do orchestral pretty much day in, day out. Even when I'm doing the hybrid wave stuffs, we add them in, but it's weird, you know. It's sad to see that, like, you know, some people are just watching because they want to watch me do the orchestral to, you know, so they can take the orchestral stuff for themselves, you know, because they're trying to get the jobs and stuff, which is fair. I'm not saying you're wrong to do that. But it does suck for me a little bit because these weekend streams are for fun, you know, and when it's for fun, you know, I'd rather have fun with you guys doing the fun things. You know, rather than just more work for me. You have to remember, I do this for work. So this is more of a break. So I apologize if you're more into the orchestral stuff. We do cover it still, but, you know, we're branching out. We're having more fun. We're not genrealizing. Is that word genrealizing? If not, I'm inventing it. I feel like it's probably a word. We're not genrealizing. We're not just sticking to genre for the sake of it. I'm not just an orchestral composer. I'm a composer. I write music. And the funny thing is, and like, that's the thing I actually want you to understand, D-Man, as well. Firstly, I do this for fun, but I have a job coming up, a big job, where it's going to be this kind of music. It's going to be this kind of, you know, I don't want to say synthetic, but it's going to be like this electronic vibe, you know? I'm going to be moving more into these things. So this is also, for me, practice. So even though it's not work, it's still work. It's like a weird kind of closed environment. But like, so this is stuff I have to do anyway, but this is fun for me to have with you guys. So instead of me just doing it by myself and then coming here and doing more orchestral stuff, you know what I mean? Because I must, like, there's got to be at least a week's worth of videos. And I mean, like, literally in terms of hours worth of me doing orchestral stuff already. So I hope, like, you know, I know that you're disappointed for today, but I hope you can tolerate me a little bit longer because firstly, this is something I'm going to be doing anyway. Secondly, I find it fun. It's fun every now and again. You have to remember, I've been doing the orchestral thing for fucking years. I've done all the jobs I ever wanted to do. And now I want to sing. I want to sing for you, Demon. Demon, I want to sing a song for you, okay? I'm sorry this has become a problem. But no, and that's what I want you guys to understand. So I'm not saying this to have a go at Demon or anybody who wants me to do orchestral. It's an explanation with the hope of a degree of understanding that you know, orchestral work is what I do almost every day. You know, like it's like, imagine you work at the chocolate factory and you eat chocolate all day. You're a chocolate tester and you come home. The last thing you want to eat is chocolate, you know, after dinner. Because, you know, you get all the good stuff at work. So it's sort of like that, but at the same time, it's practice, but everybody's having good fun. But it's, no genrealizing. That's a word we're going to start using. No genrealizing. Like, we are composers. If I write something that's dancey, hopefully it will still sound like me. I'm trying to build my tone through the genres. And, you know, hybrid wave as well is, like, as Super Nab says, it's our thing. It's our community thing. So, like, I will, like, I'll say that the Daniel James community thing only because we're collected around my stream thing. But you guys have got, like, particularly in Discord, you guys have got a thing going on of your own that, you know, you don't need me to interact with. That you guys are all helping each other out, sending each other tracks, giving each other tips on hybrid wave, giving each other, like, product advice. You know what I mean? It's a community thing. So I apologize again that it's not strictly video game orchestral every single stream. I hope there's enough content between here and YouTube to keep you settled until we do it again, which could be next week, could be whenever, but, you know. Anyway, this one's called Skyline. All right, and this one's the more chill version. And sorry, I stopped to answer a thing. Someone said there's no ostinatos or bagpipes. Yeah, that's why I'm calling this album the Hybrid Wave Sketchbook, because a lot of these sketches are me sketching things to see if I can get in that area to include. So some of them are like more like this one is more popish. This one is more rockish, you know, and I do try and include the orchestra. But anyway, Skyline. This one's very short. See, there's orchestra in there. So this is obviously the more ambient vibe. So that was the ambient one. Then I did one called, I think I showed you this one already, but this one's called Gated to Fuck. I wanted to see what would happen if we gated everything, and I'm singing phonetic lyrics. I do that a lot, by the way. So in some of these tracks, you'll hear me going, "Have to debate the ashes, but for tomorrow," right? Which is phonetic singing. I'm singing nonsense. I imagine it's what English sounds like to non-English speakers. I'm using English phrasing, I'm using English rhythm, and I'm using English kind of just accent, but I'm not singing actual words. Sometimes I'll sing a word like ashes or tomorrow or forever or whatever. I'll sing like a word, but like that just kind of that works. Anyway, that's the reason I do that is because usually I'll have a melody line or like a top line, you know, that I get that when I'm writing orchestral music, so I guess it translates, but I hear the line in my head, so I sing it down as sometimes I sing it badly, but I sing it down as quickly as I can so that I can remember what the line is, so that when I'm done with the song and the production, I already have the melody line and I know how it's going to, well, at least kind of work within the track, but then I just come write the lyrics and then sing it properly at the end, you know? All right, so this one's called Gated to Fuck, and it is gated to fuck. All the gated. You see, like, and this sounds shit, but I know what the idea is. You know what I mean? Like, even though this is shit, you know what it's supposed to be. So it's going to be like that, you know. Right, so that was that one. Then we've got, which one's next? Bloom. Bit more poppy. Right? As you do. I've been reworking the bass line on this one. Yeah, it's like closer to a 90s. It's either going to be Hybrid Wave Sketchbook or Hybrid Wave Flashback. That's not a synth. That's not a guitar. It's a synth. Got running through a guitar out. So that's the general vibe now, and then we have B section. You know, just a contrasty bit. Right, fun. Oh, sorry about that. So this one has another section. This bit I like. So it's like a beat melody. But anyway, that's the gist of that one. These next ones I kind of like. So we got groove. So I got easy bass. I don't know if... Oh, there's another thing we can cover today. You guys recommended easy bass. I checked it out. It is actually really, really good. So easy bass by Toontrack. One of the cool things... I'll show you it as well today. One of the cool things it does is... firstly, it has its own MIDI editor where you can actually put on the actual note itself what articulation it is. So you're not fucking around with key switches down at the bottom. So you can put it... You make a new thing, make a new like zone or whatever, put in the chords of the track that you're doing, and then, you know, you can program your notes in or whatever. You can put on the notes the actual articulation, which is so fucking useful, particularly on ghost notes and things like that. But the other cool thing is they have this like kind of tap, like you can tap the rhythm that you're going for, and then it looks through a library of MIDI files to see if they've got any that's been played by a proper player. And more often than not, you get like 70% there. You load those in, and it's either perfect, like it'll perfectly work with the song that you're doing already, you know, because you've given it the rhythm you need. Or you can load in one of their grooves and actually edit it to match your song, which is what we did here. And it's great. And like, I was thinking, is this cheating? And I was thinking that about the UJam things. And it's like, well, no, because if I was to hire a bassist, there's only, like, they're not going to come up with something completely unique. They're going to come up with, like, either the most complex thing they know or the coolest thing they know. And that's kind of what the grooves are. It's like the coolest ideas that the Toontrack bassist can come up with. It's got its own vibe. And I don't feel it's cheating if you're using a bass groove, particularly if it's a particularly generic one, you know? But anyway, it's really good sounding. But I made a bass loop from that, and I was trying to get a groove, a funky groove. You know what I mean? It's got the ghost notes work. The vocal. Ignore the robot vocals for now. You get the gist. I feel like it's got groove though, you know? I don't think it is. I think it's running through a bunch of saturates though. You know, and then a bunch of this stuff. And then there's like a you know, the B section. Right, oh, people are saying lol. What happened? Is it cringy? I like it. Then we have yeah, that was some Mosaic voices. I wanted something a bit different. Then we've got King. This one's more of a pop song. There's kind of lyrics to this one, but like this is very phonetic, so it sounds like I'm singing something, but I'm not. But anyway, I'm getting close with the lyrics as well. Where the dreams are made of ashes. I'm keeping that. Yes. My voice has good, bad, and horrible. A bit more pop. I need to show you the vocal process. I've sang this 3 times in this playlist. And they're varying degrees of shitness. Oh, it's Diva on bass. Orchestra. Right. It's What I Made by Child 16. By Chin, not Child. I need glasses. Yeah, I think I might keep the chorus vocal. There's my nod. And then I have a beat melody at the end. Yeah, a little beat melody at the end. That's a VST. It's called the Sensual Sax by Embertone. Yeah. Best saxophone library out there. You're going for that one. And then this is just the chill. Like, bit of orchestra. What did you think of that? What did you think of that one? You like my vocal melody on the verse? Okay, so let me just play. Okay, so my how do we like sing? Like as a singer, I'm not very good, right? I'm getting better. I'm improving. I'm practicing. You know, something I used to do. I'm not very good at, but I'm practicing, trying to get better. Right. Anyway, so the first time I sang that song, the vocal line. Listen to how out of tune I am. I get better eventually, but listen to this. That song started as this. So this is the iPhone recording. This is when I was with the acoustic guitar and I was like, okay, I've got an idea, right? Okay, and then I sang it yesterday to see how, like, because when you sing something multiple times, you find it in your own voice. This was me singing it yesterday. Again, it's still phonetic lyrics. It sounds like I'm singing lyrics, but they don't mean anything yet. This is now. Like, I feel like I'm getting it more now. Where the dreams are made of ashes. And while I'm burning on my sorrow. Like, it's still shaky, but we're back it up and start tomorrow. We're closer. How do I move on? How do I move on into yeah, it sounds very Wonderwall. It sounds like Wonderwall because I have a high drone. How do I move on? How do I move on into the end where we say I fuck up here. I do think all the but it's like more from here, you know what I mean? Like the first version, I'm singing it like I know it's a different key. The first one I'm singing like this. And the second one's like instead of it's coming from down in the chest, you know, like. And now my dreams have turned to pressure. It's hard to explain. It's got air in it as well. And now I'm drowning on my sorrow. I don't know what I'm singing about. Tomorrow, here we go again. How do I move on? How do I move on into the end where we said it at a Yeah, I feel like it's more in tune just in generally. In general? In general. How do I move on into the end where we get free? Anyway, that was the hybrid wave things that we've been working on, the sketchy book things. What did you guys think? Was that a fun little adventure through my musical brain? Right, we need to move that over there. What do you think about YukariTamura? I do not know who that is. I apologize. I feel like by the way you said it, it was expected that I would know who that was, but unfortunately I do not. I do not understand the problem that you have there. Wow, your voice became very good. Did you vote for the Irish accent to stay for the rest of the stream? Not the fucking Scottish one I was trying to do. I don't know if I should take that as a compliment or an insult, but either way, you fucked it up. You fucked it up royally, boy. The Irish one's over here. I was trying to do the Scottish one. We can keep the Irish one should you like to. However, I don't think that's fundamentally what you meant to say. I think what you meant to say was Scottish. Say that instead of that. Okay, I'll say that instead of that. Right, let's take a look. The hardest thing to do is go between the two. You were being a Scot, my brain just died real hard. Real hard like. My Scottish is new. I've been practicing my Scottish for a few months. I'm getting there. Right, let's take a look down here. Performance samples. Where's that? Perf Perk. Volume 1. Right, let's start from the top and work down. Perf Perk Volume 1. Bongo set. Drumsticks. Let's take a listen. Oh, for fuck's sake. Right, we need to allow alternate file types in search of Spotlight. I need to do a batch save of this shite. What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Right, give me a moment. Let me just load this shite up. Right, find the folder. Browse for the folder. It's right there. It's even called samples, you moron. That is. It was literally, like, I told it to search the Spotlight. When you tell Contact, like if Contact can't find something, usually you get it to search the Spotlight, because when you're on a Mac, whenever you put something on, whenever you install something, put it on your computer, it indexes it, right? So when you search for it, you can find it. So when you search the Spotlight, it searches the index, so it finds it very quick. That one, so like it started searching everywhere else except the folder it was in which the samples it was looking for was in a folder that it was in called samples. And it didn't check there first. Come on, Contact. Get your shit together. Right, so Perf Perk is performance sample. Oh, should we do an intro on that? Nah, fuck it. Yeah, so anyway, so Perf Perk, performance samples new drum library, right? And the principle behind this, no, I did not mean to turn down my volume. That was not the plan. The principle behind this is it's designed to be played super fast. So we're going to put that to the test. So what we'll do is we'll program just a little 3 + 3 + 2 rhythm. This is one of those. Brilliant. Did it in 8s. We'll just shrink that down to half the time. It's just got the ambience. So like one of the things that determines what samples sound real and what don't is usually the room in which they're recorded, right? It's we've had this conversation with brass. It's like if you play brass in a no reverb room, what's that called? Anechoic or something like that, chamber. A chamber that has no reverberation. A brass just sounds like it just kind of sounds like that, right? So like a big percentage of the sound of a brass instrument is the room, right? And that applies just in lesser degrees to other instruments as well, because obviously sound is just how you move the air. And so, like we said earlier before we were looking at the library, when you record samples, so percussion's always been one of the easiest ones to sample because, you know, you can only hit a drum a certain way. But we've started realizing that when you play fast, you get something called either the machine gun effect. That's when you have the same sample that plays lots of times. So we invented round robin. And now with round robin, we're feeling that even though it feels realistic, when you play fast, you kind of you're still getting a bit too much of a da 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 da. And the reason that is when you hit the drum, the sound waves come outwards. Didn't mean to knock that over. When the sound waves come out of the instrument, they go outwards. And if you hit the drum again, it causes turbulence to the sound coming back. So say you hit a snare, the snare sound hits the wall, bounces back, you know, and that's what creates the sound, how it's bouncing around the room, right? But when you hit another one, the sound coming back is now being hit by the sound going out. So now you have more of a not white noise, but it becomes more airy. You feel the 3D-ness of the room. It fills the space more in a 3D way. So if you imagine the sound going out like as a 2D thing, and then when it collides with something, it becomes more 3D, right? That's kind of like, it's super oversimplifying it and missing out a lot of mathematical elements to it. But in general, it's sort of like that. Even if it's not like that, it helps to think of it like that for the process of this. Anyway, so what they've done here is they've recorded it so that the air is very much in the room. Let's try it actually. Let's actually try it against something else that's very similar in sound. So how about like the exotic hits, the boom bams? Let's try it on the boom bams. Oh goodness. Oh. And you end up with lots of layers of the reverb versus, I mean, one's a solo instrument, one's an ensemble, but you get the gist. Let's just try flicking through some of the instruments. Oh, I'm gonna have to do this for all of them, aren't I? Okay, hang on. We're gonna battery save that quick because I can't be doing that all day. But in the meantime, I will. Get rid of this. I don't want to battery save the Hans Zimmer thing. Battery saving, the bane of my existence. You're about to save on. I know I'm about to save. Right, let's see how long this will take. Checking for samples. So I'll just chat to you guys. Right, browse for folder. Let me just show it the fucking. There we go. Oh my goodness. Look at this battery save. Look at this number. Look at the speed it's going. Okay, we are not doing that today. Okay, we'll cover perf perk another time. Like I don't have time to wait for 10 hours for it to battery save. It was doing 10. Someone do the math on that. It was doing 9,000 samples at like 1 a second, 2 a second. Can someone do the math on that for me? It was doing one sample every. Oh, wait, Jasper says, I guess Jasper's watching. How long would that have taken to battery save? Jasper says, I don't have to battery save. Wait. I guess. Right, Jasper, how's it going? Performance samples are watching. The gods have spoken, right? He says, when it prompts you, you don't have to just search the same folder in the session. Okay. Well, yes, but I get that. I get that I can do that, but I don't want to have to. So like, keep search in the current session. Oh yeah, why is that not selected already? Browse for folder. I'm going to have to battery save these at some point anyway. Look, this is why. Look, because I've set that. I get, but look, I've set that, and now it's loading the file. Look, this isn't battery saving. This is just loading. So there's not much. Like I could sit here and load them all this way, but for some reason they're loading one at a time, and I can't. Like, so I guess we'll have to do this another time. Yeah, it shouldn't prompt me again. Shouldn't prompt me again if the session's still open, but I can't wait for this to load. Can't wait for this to load. I'll tell you what I'll do is I'm going to battery save it, and we'll cover that on another stream, because I can't sit and wait for them all to load one by one. I mean, it just means that, because look, now I've selected that it's doing it with. No, this is on an SSD. It's on my SSD. I don't know why it's going slow. Yeah, it's on my SSD. Yeah, it's all right. We'll cover this one in another stream. That's a shame. That was a shame that one wasn't working for us today. We have so many to go over, though. Right, so where were we? So we never actually ended up looking at Mosaic Base. So we'll move on to that one for now. External SSD. Like, the thing is with hard drives, though, and it was the same thing with the with like Spitfire stuff and all that, is you have to remember that. Okay, so let me count. So I have. I can have a look on my system drive. Hang on. I have. Do we have anything secret there? I mean, no. Okay, right. So like these are my drives, right? So this is a hard drive, the Passport for Mac. This sample drive is a regular hard drive. That's an SSD, obviously, SSD. That's a hard drive. That's a hard drive. That's an SSD, right? That's what I've run my samples off of. The SSDs are actually the newer things. I've been running samples off of hard drives for years without problems. And I'm talking like brand new ones, Cinemax Studio Strings, loads fast. And again, like the performance samples things, I'm not saying that has to do with load times. That's because I haven't battery saved. That's something I should have done beforehand, really, because some libraries you just have to battery save. Systems are different. They load slow for some people. They load quick for others. Anyway, but the thing with SSDs and the Spitfire thing I was referencing then is that, like, I had the same thing when BBC Symphonic Orchestra came out, because I had the BBC loaded on an external hard drive, not SSD, and everybody was like, "Well, you're like intentionally manipulating it to look like it loads slower." And it's like, but I like all the other libraries that have loaded instantly in that session are on the exact same hard drive, or they're on an identical hard drive. They're not on an SSD over SSDs. And it's always like, oh, this is your fault because you're running it off a hard drive. And it's like, I would accept that criticism if every other library I ever own works like that. So like, you know what I mean? It's always the exception that they don't work, or they load slowly off of a hard drive. I mean, obviously they load faster on an SSD, but it's not like what we were seeing there wasn't the difference between SSD and hard drive. That was just for whatever reason, contact not loading quickly. So there's not much I can do with that for now, Anyway. It happened before, and I watched exactly. Is there any virus program running in the background checking every file? No, and that's the thing. Like sometimes it happens for some samples and not others, and I don't know why it would do something like that, but it does. Anyway, so we'll look at the bass for now, the Mosaic Base. I feel like we're gonna have to go a couple of octaves down for this. How low does it go? Operator, 1979. Right, so let's take a look around. So this, like, we did use them a little bit, but I didn't really explore them much, did I? Okay, options, so channel 1, channel 2, channel 3. This is keyboard. This is how quickly and slowly they fade in and out. Who's trying to talk to me? Right, I'm going to have to put my phone on Do Not Disturb mode, because everybody's trying to message me. All right, so these are pitched down. Oh, wait, what? Interesting. They have a -12 pitch down, so they pitch down by 12, but they only pitch up by 2. Interesting choice. I mean, you can change it. I just thought that was an interesting choice. We got ARP controls. Chord. What does chord do? ARP type. Oh, okay, I get it. Oh, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. Okay, so for those of you, I only figured it out myself as like just then. But so what this is doing is basically, so this is your arpeggiator, right? As you would expect. Can we change this to like a lighter sound? I had the feeling this is probably going to be a no. Synth. Can we get a? Give me a softy sound. Right. I mean, it's whatever. That sound will work now. If you click chord, so say like I'm holding a D minor, what it'll do is every step sequence that it hits the like the step where you've hit a chord, it'll play all of the notes together. That's a really good idea. Like, it's funny because it doesn't work really well for bass. Because basses aren't known for their chords, but... Whoa, okay. Okay, sir, I'm going to have to ask you to calm down. Okay, so this is the macro. Okay, so this here is the macro sequencer. So I've covered heaviosity things before, so I'm not going to go into too much depth to how they work because I've covered all this before. But the gist of the macro sequencer, so you see these things here? So when you set your macro controls, this is the invert button just to make it go the opposite way. But when you apply the amounts, of whatever it is you're doing. Now, here is something I did forget how to do, is how do you add the actual amounts on? Do we have to click on the outside, the inside? What's the rule here? What is the rule? How do we assign controls? What's the easy option here? Interesting. I totally forgot how to do that. Does anybody know? Does anybody remember? Because I can see the little blue and orange dials, and they're usually the start and end time of the. Oh no, it's the little arrows to the side, isn't it? That's it. Somehow. There it is. There it is. I found it. Can I not do it with these ones? I could have sworn that that's what that meant. But anyway. So yeah, the little arrows to the side, you apply more or less. It's hard to do on sounds that just... But like you can change... Let's change the sustain all the way down. We're on the bass. Oh, that's cool. Oh, I really like that. Let me... I like that as a sound. I'm keeping that for now. Oh, I like the look of that. Let me set up a drum loop. I feel like it's better to work with bass when you've got something to work to. Even has the punish button on aggressive. Punish that bass. Right, let me just put in I'll show you the vice while we're here. And then we'll put some bass up against it. So this is the one I bought, right? This is Vice. This is a U-Jam instrument. So these are very specific for what they're doing, right? But the thing about them is they're very specific to what they are, right? This is getting you to that sound pretty quick. Like if you're into those old school vibes, right? Right, the cool thing about this is, right, they have their presets. Right. This is taking, like, some of these vibes are, like, so spot on. I forgot they were vibes till I hear the drums. I'm like, oh, that reminds me of, like, a certain type of retro song, you know? Right, but anyway, right? So you get the idea. This one has a GTA vibe about it. Let's go with this one. All right, so we'll just put in a... Let's go with this one. So for now, I'll just drop in the loop. I wonder what happens if we just throw the thing over the top. I wonder if it works. Probably not. I mean, sort of, but not quite. It's because this was at 150 when I recorded that. This will sound weird. I mean, at the beginning, it kind of created like a boom, but so the fun things I like about this is, firstly, you can change the rhythms, right? They have a bunch of MIDI rhythms. And that's why I like this, right? Because when you're in this era, when you're back in this kind of 80s style era, the drum rhythms and stuff are pretty much the same anyway. And if it doesn't change, like, it's what I always think about phrase-based libraries in general, like guitar phrase-based libraries, drum-based libraries. It's like, if you were going to do that anyway, why not just have a properly done version of it, you know? Like, if you were going to play the drums that was like, and someone's recorded it, but with natural feel, just use the natural feel one, because you're going to, compositionally, it hasn't changed. It hasn't changed any more than if you'd got a live player to come in and replace your MIDI part, or you said to them, here's the chord chart, can you just put a bass line in? Or, you know, like you said to a drummer, yeah, I just kind of want it to be like boom tip, boom tip, and then they added all the fills. That's the exact same thing you would get back. It's like you didn't do it, but it's what you intended, so it's still your compositional intent. And as composers, that's what's important to us. As composers, the only thing that matters is end result, right? How you get there is less important to the people listening to it. The people listening to it only care whether or not it's good, bad, sounds good, sounds quality, whatever, you know? They don't care about you used a drum loop to do it. The only people who care that you use drum loops are people who think that they have found you out. If you go look at the internet, anytime someone's complaining about someone using a certain drum loop or a drum bass or something, it's not usually this person is lazy. It's like, haha, I have rumbled. Well, yeah, sorry, it is that they're saying they're lazy and cheating and stuff. It's always with that kind of, haha, you have been rumbled. I have discovered that you are in fact a hack. And it's like, dude, that's just, listen to the song, not the samples, you know, like listen to the music, not the elements of the music. Like when you eat a burger, you're like, oh, it's a fucking good tomato. You know what I mean? Like you don't, when you eat a burger, you don't individually try and taste each element, you know what I mean? You like if they have a stock tomato that they bought from the supermarket, I'm not going to give them shit for it. The burger's delicious and that tomato made it just right. Who gives a fuck where it came from? Who gives a fuck? The point is the intent. Anyway, on that note, so we had this loop, right? We had this old loop. I'm gonna slow that down though. So, what they did, which was pretty cool, is so because you have all these different loops of the thing here, you can keep it playing and just swap out different rhythms. Right, cool vibe, right? But the thing is like that's not the only thing you can do. You can also swap out the kits. That I do love that thing. It's something I love in all libraries. It's like you've got the vibe of what you want. Now you're just changing how it, the actual tone and the sound of it. And this allows you to just swap out the kits. So they've got different kits, and then they also have the different rhythms. So like while it's playing, you could swap all this out. While you don't have to. See what I mean? So like you can just get through and you can find the tone however you want. But then we come over here, we have the mix, and they do something kind of interesting in UJam. Like it's definitely aimed at like an easier user experience. You know what I mean? That is the design of it clearly, because like you have these effects, but you can't individually affect them. You can't go in and change how you can just add the amount, right? So. Oh, something before we get there, by the way, they have this beat intensity, which is incredible. It's not AI, but it's like if the beat's a bit busy, you can actually simplify it somewhat. No, not intensity. Sorry. That's I'm thinking of a completely different plugin. This is just how hard it's hitting. This is velocity. No, so which one? Oh, I'm thinking of easy bass. Sorry, no, this is intensity. This is like velocity. Let me show you what I was thinking of so you don't think I'm going crazy. What I thought it was doing is this. In easy bass, you can do this. So you got a busy groove like this. You can simplify it. You see, look at the MIDI notes down here. Look, you can simplify it, or you can. Well, this will play. Let's put a disco rhythm over it. Fuck it, why not? Let's just see what happens if we throw disco over this. You know what I mean? Like, it's just fun to... Wait. The most important change. I just think that's so much fun, you know. I don't think they have a way to make me make it slap, do they? Can we slap? I think we can maybe add it on the. Let's slap that one. Right, and we'll can we snap? We'll percussive right hand those and then pop this one. You see, like I fucking love this ability. You see how easy that is to edit? By the way, I fucking hate scrollers like this. Ugh. But you see how like MIDI needs to do this. MIDI needs to do this, right? Contact and MIDI need to do this so that when you want an articulation, it's like, I want those staccato, boom, done. Rather than having to fuck around with key switches, this needs to be a thing because now. Let's just make all of these like slaps. Here we go. I wonder if we change them all to ghost notes. Oh, that's actually really cool. If they were louder. Can I turn up just these ones? Is that a thing I can do? Options, can we turn them up? Where's the, oh, yeah, down the bottom there. Because it sounds so cool, listen. Can we just point out how realistic this bass guitar sounds for a second, by the way? Get like I'm editing all this in MIDI and it just sounds like I've told a player to do it. Left hand. Put it with the drums. But the cool thing is, we can. I do like to do this sometimes, you know, just see what else. See, they don't all work. They also have like a vintage sounding one, which I think I prefer the vintage sound, just particularly on these faster ones. They just sound nicer. Okay, didn't even make a sound on that one. Actually, this rhythm sounded way better on the modern bass. Distorted metal. Why does it have so much mid-range in it? What? I wonder if we put the other thing in there as well, like the whoa, 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 whoa. Is that still a thing? There it is. No, that sounded awful. So now I'm just going to change the drums out. Let's keep moving through the drums. Oh yeah, I can put that. I only have the Nolly now. By the way, I purchased the Nolly amp. You guys recommended that one. Where did my thing go? There it is. Let's put the Nolly on it. So I'm just trying out all these new things you guys recommended. That sounds pretty badass, but it's a bit too strong. So I'm going to put that on an effects track and send it to... Where's my crisp? It was crisp, right? So if I take that off... So now I'm just going to send over the distortion as a send rather than an insert. Because I like what that did to the sound, but it was way too... Put it on the drums. It may do that. I wonder if we should put some replica like on just the distortion, like just on the send rather than. It's a cool vibe, isn't it? I wonder what happens if we just like completely slow it down to like, I don't know, 80. It doesn't work really. And then equally. I'm trying to figure out where. Is it like 130 maybe? I feel like that would be there, but anyway, I just wanted to go through a few more of these. But next, I want to show you some of the other drum stuff that they've put out as well. So we're kind of jumping between things. We're playing around. Okay, so we're gonna. I'm just gonna minimize that, and we'll just some other loop. Keep it damp. You know what I mean? Like, it's very easy to get up onto a groove very quickly doing it this way. Right, so I'm just going to swap out Vice. So this is some of the other ones they go. Like the Dope one, I actually like the sounds of a lot. A lot of these are going to be more difficult to use in the synthwave stuff, but oh, that's cool. I love, like, I've always loved these kind of grungy sampled sounding samples. A lot of these are going to be down tempo though, right? No. Yeah, it's like, well, you see, this is the thing. Like, this is the thing that always gets me. And like, I'm not having a dig or anything, but it's like, I load this up and everybody's like, oh, right, this is what I make hip hop with. And Vice is what I make synthwave with. And it's like, when I'm listening to these, I'm not like, yes, if you're doing that thing, obviously this is going to be the most appropriate types of sounds that you're going to do. But the thing is what you need to be doing is listening to the actual sounds and like, okay, how can I be using these? How can I be using these throughout my work, you know, in general? Like, you could layer a lot of these dirty sounds into other tracks in order, particularly like when we're talking orchestral and video game stuff, like breakbeat sounds like this, like particularly grungy ones, you can really get in there to layer in as other elements, you know, like as with orchestra and stuff. Like it's just a grungy sound that will translate. This is a preset called Healthy Jackin'. Just so that we're all on the same page. Healthy Jackin'. That fill was a little bit full on, wasn't it? Muff Riders, anyone? That's a rhythm. That bass line does not work with that rhythm. So this one works the same way. Something I didn't show in the last one. So one of the other cool things about the UJAM instruments is these little slices here. So we have the loops on the right hand here. Right, you have your loops, but you also have samples, right? And let's say that we're doing, and let's say that bass drum's too intense for us. You click the bass drum and you can swap it out for one of the other kits. And if you go through them and find that they're all a little bit too big for you, what you do is you come down, you've got decay. Why does this solo? And this one, of course, works like the other one. So you have like the little effects rack up here. This one's called Chicken. And like these seem like such small, insignificant things. But the thing I've found, like when, you know, just experimenting with them so far, is that just having these little effects there like that Just being able to like bring the tone to something different makes you a bit more comfortable with loops, you know? And the thing is, I keep calling these loops. These aren't loops. They're MIDI. They're MIDI loops. So if you click on like this, you see like how this is the key. If I click the bit above, I can actually just drag that in and you have the beat there. So it's not so much a loop because if I wanted to, you know, I could get rid of all of this, you know? Get rid of this if I want. You know, so it's not a conventional loop. So it's even more, you know, it's more manipulative. More creative is the wrong word. What's the word? I mean, it is more creative, but it's like you have more ability to change things, you know? Again, swap out the loops. Yo. So here on the Master Effects, so this dial on the end here, we have like our reverb. And I mean, like this is what I was saying by like, you don't get a lot of direct control. You know what I mean? You get very basic control, but they do what you need to do, you know? Like they don't. Customizable is the word I was looking for. It's very customizable. You were close with configurable, AGB funky bass man. Right, so that's the, you get the gist of the device. Dope, rather. Eden. So this one I like because it has some cool rhythms. So this one is more like the... Right, well, you need to up this tempo. And it's funny because I feel like these sounds like are actually some of my favorite because they're techno, but some of them are solid, you know? I love stuff like that. Now, you see, the thing is, here's another thing that excites me and why I enjoy these and why I am happy to be partnered with UJam on this shit, right? Is because we're doing this hybrid wave thing, which is all about, right? It's all about finding rhythms. It's all about getting, you know, hybrid wave. It's all about finding the new, you know, finding the new sounds, you know, and you have to remember, a lot of us are coming from media backgrounds. A lot of us are coming from, you know, being composers. A lot of us are coming from being, you know, like just orchestral, you know, video game composers, whatever it is. And so like this, for example, wouldn't come to my mind to do. Right? But now I've heard that, I now have all sorts of ideas for where that could go. Like that to me is a really cool vibe. 2 triplet, 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 1 triplet, 2 triplet. Yeah, so it's just a triplet feel. And again, we can just drop this in. I'll put it on the easy bass. Yeah, you're saying 6/8, but it's like I feel like it's triplets. Yeah, it's triplet grid, pretty much. I mean, some of them are a little off, but I think that's. Oh wait, you're looking at me. Sorry. Like, yeah, it's. I've changed it over to triplet grid. So, like, yes, it's playing like 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5 6. That's how it feels, but it's just a straight up 8th triplet grid. So I wonder if we could just take this bass line, right, that is this, and then just quantize it to 8th triplets. No, you can't just do that, Dan. You can't. Let's put it 4th note triplets. Why not? Does not work at all. Do not do that ever. Anyway, I love that. Let's take a listen to the actual kits. Mostly just the kicks and snares, but like I would totally use this. Like that, I think, is a really cool vibe, particularly with the drums. And I love that we've already changed the drum sound, so it can't. Oh, right, so it was trying to play this. Yeah, just delete this. I fucking love some of these sounds. Right, so these kinds of things are actually going to be really useful. So for any of you who are doing hybrid wave tracks for next week, how many of you are actually doing the hybrid wave tracks for next week, by the way? If you are, make sure you're grabbing the free trial of this one as well, because the sound of this will be awesome for you. Which one did I like? I think it was Gravity. I loved it. I like that snare in Gravity. I like that kick in Gravity. Yeah, Gravity's probably my favorite. You should buy an old 808 Daniel. You can program and tweak these sounds all day, put some pedals after output. Well, you see, like, yes, I should for the sake of it. But the thing is we can put effects after this as well. Let's put some replica. I don't know. Tremolo. What is it? Oh, what was it? It's like modulator. Tube modulator. I bought this as well. So we could, for example, this is going to be a mess. It's because of all the fucking calm down. There we go. You're right. We probably should just. Have any of you used this, by the way? The XCA. can't find it. Never mind. Nay mind. Life goes on. For the suitcase from nothing. I wonder what the... I need to turn off all the damn effects now. That was just playing. I don't know, I'm just building a weird drum rhythm. This is going to make no sense. That is the worst drum beat ever programmed. Right, anyway, moving on. Let's take a listen to the next one, which is Hustle. So this is more of your, I mean, the UI will probably tell you more, but this is more for 160. We're going for jungle. That actually changes the sound quite drastically, this effect. Like, I imagine some of you right now are listening to this like, oh no. Oh no. But that sound, right? How do we turn this bass down? But the cool thing is particularly drums like that last one that I was doing. Not that one. Like they don't sound important now, but one of the things I realized very quickly is, particularly if you're working in video games, there's a lot of opportunities where, there's a lot of chances, a lot of times where you have to do game conditions. So win condition, lose condition, draw condition, whatever, things like that. And one of the things you'll find is they're like, when you get to those things, like everything can be orchestral. Everything can be 100% orchestral. And then you get to a win condition, they're like, we want this to be contemporary. We want this to feel like badass. You know what I mean? Like, look at games like Valorant, for example. That's a new one. You know what I mean? Like that kind of edgy look at, win conditions and stuff. And that's where things like this come in handy. And I know, don't worry, I 100% understand the fact I sound like a shill right now, but I'm just saying what I would be saying anyway. For those of you wondering, yes, I am partnered with UJam on this, but I'm saying this because this is what I would say anyway, not because I got them for free. It wouldn't matter because I would say the same thing. But so you win the game and it's like da 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 da. And you put that with some bass and stuff and some guitar, and that actually says a win condition sometimes better than, or like a Call of Duty, wouldn't go amiss with stuff like this sometimes, you know? There is some, because this is essentially trap music, right? And the thing with trap music is it's very gritty sounding. At least I think so. I think tweaking realistic drum library with some effects would really sound better than these. That's probably true, but it depends what you're going for, Ramtink. Like the reason you would use these in the first place is because they have the sounds that you're looking for. Like Well, I'm not much of a hustler. So like for this one specifically, I'm not an expert. Because it's more trap. So we'll move on from that one because I feel like that one's more designed at other people. But, you know, we took a look. Now, this is the other one, which is like drum and bass. I say it's like drum and bass. It is drum and bass. Isn't this genre dead? Probably, but the sounds aren't. Listen to how... Oh, yeah, that one's not as strong. But it annoys that I, like, not annoys me. It's like, I'm sorry that I have to keep saying the same thing, but it is that thing. And I keep seeing the same people saying, every time I load it up, it's like you see the genre, you hear the sample, and you go, this genre is dead. Why are we listening? Like, you're not saying, why are we listening to that? But yes, drum and bass as a mainstream format may not be a mainstream format anymore, but it does still exist. And that's the thing. Just because it's not popular anymore doesn't mean that it's useless to us. And it's the same reason, like, and this isn't even a UJam thing. This is the same thing recently. I've been like trawling through like Loop Masters and what is it? I think it's Black Octopus and all these other, you know, like sample pack things, because I realized they're no different than sample libraries we use for orchestral music. It's just a different world. So like I've started looking into these things more because I found that particularly when I'm doing hybrid stuff, I'm talking like video game type stuff. Sometimes you'll have like your orchestral percussion, your hand zero percussion. You need that underneath the dun 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 dun. And it's sometimes the sounds come from the most bizarre places, or there's like a really actiony thing, and you just need, and it breaks down. And you're like, dumb, even just for a moment. But the fact that it's authentic is what I love about it. And again, the reason I'm a lot more into this is because I can just drag that in as MIDI. Look, and there we go. You know, and I would so break that down into a sample half time. Fuck, let's do it. Fuck it, let's do it. I just like to mess with sounds mostly. I wonder what halftime sounds like. Probably like. What could we put that in? Oh, what's a good filter? Anyway, my brain isn't working today. What if we just put these effects on there? Oh, I like that. I like that. I do like that. Man, I do like fucking with some of these sounds, but anyway, that wasn't the point of what we're looking at today, was it? The only problem with loops like that is sometimes they are stolen, just like the other day I made for a loop I know was stolen from a sample library. What do you mean stolen? What snares do they have? I like it. But like, it's just that the sounds are so like solid that I really enjoy them. It's half time. Drum and bass slowed down sounds so dumb. Not always, just sometimes. Dubstep always did seem to have like some reggae influence. I wonder where, like, how that came to be. I wonder if it's a London thing. Interesting. Anyway, so those were like the UJam ones. We will be seeing those more often. Like I said, UJam reached out to me and said they wanted me to, partner with me on those things, so that I would show them. But the thing is so I wanted to show them today, and it's the same with the other instruments I'm showing as well. So it used to be that we would do like a full-on review, which we will get into for like the ones that we're using more often, the ones that we feel we want to do like a full video on. But in general, with the live streams, the way we show these instruments now is I'll go through them like I'm doing here. So like a first look, where we talk about it, I'm talking about it with you guys, and we go through some of the sounds together. We experience what it's like to use, how the UI is, the general kind of vibe. And then what it is you'll see them pop up through writing streams, right? That's how it works now. So like even though I'm moving on from UJam right now, we're not, like, if you guys want to see more of some of those things, you can ask me and I can go look at them for you. Or they will pop up in streams as I use them. And that's a good way for you guys to see which ones are worthwhile because of the ones I tend to lean on the most. Do you know what I mean? I think that that's a useful way to see, because if I keep using something, it must be worthwhile, as opposed to showing you a thing, how it's good, and, moving on, because there's enough reviews that do that already. We're a little bit different here. We're more of a community. We could probably get a giveaway. I'll ask them if we can do that. But yeah. Anyway, back to what we were doing in the first place. We were here. We got to the effects, didn't we? And then I went on a UJam thing. Right. Let's get... Punished bass. I really like this one, actually. So low A is like the lowest it can go. By the way, how's your guys' speakers? Can you hear this bass okay? Or have you guys, like, is it just like because you got no sub going on. Especially the hustle one, which I think for that one is intentional. But when I compare the whole thing, addictive drums, electronic presets, which are acoustic drums, gated EQ hugely, I think that that seems more applicable for cyberpunk hybrid wave because they feel a little old style, but still high quality, filmic, futuristic. Well, that's the thing. And again, like it's the same with synthesizers. Most synths can do any synth sound, right? Not all of them, obviously. Wavetable, you're not going to be doing it on an analog synth. You get the gist. Is most normal synth sounds you can do with most other synths, right? The reason you choose a synth is how it specifically does certain things, how the filter sounds on that specific thing, how the effects sound on that unit, how the oscillators sound on that unit. Same thing applies to samples. The reason you would choose a UJAM thing is because you want those types of sounds. So the reason I was recommending Vice and to another extent, what was the dancey one called again? Eden. Vice and Eden is because the types of sounds that are in it are the exact type of sounds that are part of one of the genres we're mixing into the hybrid wave thing. So it's very easy for people to get it and have high quality sounds straight away, which are in the kind of field that we're going for. And absolutely, you could get better results. You could get better results using a real drummer. You know what I mean? Like there's always better ways to get better results, but this gets you to where you need to be faster so that you're not spending time dilly-dallying on something which at the end of the day isn't going to be that important. And I'm not saying drums are not important, but what I'm saying is the type of sound for this type of music is almost specific to a point of being like a thing. You know what I mean? Like using a certain type of sound or drum for some of these elements is a thing. So using these for this thing is the best thing you could do because it gets you to the thing with the least hassle possible. Gets you there, and you can still mess with effects and stuff afterwards. You can still render this as audio. You can still render things out. And if you choose to, you can still replace them or layer them with other drum libraries. But the fact of the matter is they can get you up and running very, very quickly. And because they have verse, chorus, breakdown things, loops on the right hand, you could sort of get a rough sketch arrangement just straight away. Just play in an arrangement so you know the structure of the song. You know what I mean? Like it has things which makes your life easy for that specific thing. And that's where the value of it is. It's like you could say the same about Chaos. It's like it's got similar sound sets to Alpha and Bravo, but the way in which you can use those sounds is what makes that valuable. It's because it gets you to that rhythmic preset thing very quickly. Vice gets you to that synthwave drum track sound and tone. And, you know, because even the effects that are built in are there to degrade it to make it sound more synthwavy. Do you know what I mean? Like if you load up Easy Drummer, yes, it may have, or Superior Drummer, whatever it was you said, you could load that up and it may have a, you know, like you may have more features, you may have more abilities, but the problem is you're unable, not unable, but like you'll have to look around for all the effects and all the things that get it to that kind of tone that is like inherent within that genre or inherent within that type of thing that you're going for. But because these are on the UI, you're getting there immediately. You know what I mean? It's like a toolkit for that specific thing. And again, you don't have to just use that thing. You can layer it with other things. But if you're doing that kind of music, if you are doing trap music, Hustle would be great because you could drop it in and get those trap sounds immediately, have trap loops immediately, and then you can layer on top of that if it's sounding too generic for you. So that's where I see things like this setting in. And also the sounds are high quality enough. Like this is what I was saying to the UJAM guys, particularly the dope one for me is I know where I can use those in other places already. You know what I mean? So that are nothing to do with like hip hop and stuff. And it's just like the sounds themselves aren't supposed to drive what you do with them. That's the best way I can describe it, is that like, don't let the sample library pack determine the kind of music you're going to write. Like it makes your life easier. That is the point of them, right? So don't get me wrong. The point of them is to make your life easier. However, you know, don't close your mind off to what else you could do. Someone reacted, compose a big video game is cool, don't get me wrong, but you're at the top only, you have big time Korean Twitch streamer react to your clip. Okay, let's have a look. Hopefully this doesn't make a lot of noise. I feel like Spitfire having a... Oh no. Who's put me on this? What? Oh, what's happened here? What's this? Oh, why are they watching me do the orgasm samples? Why? Like, why can you guys never clip me like having a fantastic moment? Why can you guys never clip me doing something good? It's always a clip of me doing like a choir say cunt. Oh, no. I feel like Spitfire were having a good time on this one. I feel like Spitfire, not Spitfire, I feel like Cinesamples were having a good time with this one. I just realized. Oh, yeah. I feel like Spitfire. She's just looking at me with bewilderment. Why do you guys do this shit to me? I don't deserve it. Oh, I like that. All right, how many are there? We can't go through everything. Wow. It's a lot of content. I really like that. Can we? I don't want this one open right now. I want. Oh, by the way, Carbon. I don't own this one yet. I'm on the trial, but this is pretty cool. Oh shit! Really. So this is definitely going to split a lot of people because I know a lot of you are guitarists, or a lot of you at least like guitar. Now this thing I fucking love, like, and the reason that this is going to split people is probably guitar tone. The way it sounds is very digital sounding, right? But it has this rhythm. What to do. That's a 3+3+2. Sounds super fake to me. But yeah, that's the thing. It does sound super it's fake is the wrong word. It's digital sounding. But the thing is in context of a track, I think it would be fine. Let me try. Let me put one in. That is 100% what she said. What? Oh wait, it's down here, isn't it? Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Anyway, it's done now. God, what is going on today? What is going on today? Fuck it, let's put Vice up against it. Just for now. Just see what happens. Why not? Just trying these combos. I mean, a little bit chuggy. I just need like a straight rhythm. Give me a straight. I forgot about some of these. Just wanna. All right, and then probably what I do with that is, so the drums are fine, but they need more balls. I wonder how good is the bass? Because apparently you can do the MIDI bass as well. So which means I should be able to just copy this and drop it on Easy Bass. I actually kind of like the way that sounded. That's fucking awesome. And so we'll just mute it. It does need to be below, doesn't it? Where's my fucking drum kit? You know what I mean? Like this is sound, it's starting to sound filthy already. I'm going to bring this down to like. So start off with a bass line like that. So I mean, if we did it like that. Something. Nope. We need a hybrid wave with low tuned guitars. That's now a thing. And now it feels like it needs like a wait, what key? So it'd be like, so I need that. I need that in my life. Down, now, now, and then so we can put it in instrument mode, and then you can have how long you want it with the key switch. So if you want, you can have like super short. Oh, a cool thing, by the way, you can change the miking. So single mic. Can you run the dry signal? No, you can't run a dry signal, but you can do severity like this. And if you you turn it down really low, you almost get a clean tone, which means you can almost get away with running it through. But in order to get it going, it's not particularly good for it, to be honest. Okay, I'm not sure what I did there. That was actually really cool because, like, there's... Okay, so the guitar has... Right, you see the finisher? So this is the effects. It works like the other ones, except this has got a load of, like, effects already pre-built in, and then you just kind of do it. But that's on the mod wheel. So if I go... Well, firstly, let's fix that sound. Jesus. Wait. It doesn't sound like it's in stereo mode. But if I put this on, it turns to an infinite reverb and the amp is distorting it. I mean, you could do something like that, I suppose. And then just like... Or we could just go back. I'm trying to get it so that... They've got a good one in here called Sequencer. And these ones are like... that's a bad one, but yeah. Let's try. I need to start on the beat. I like, okay. So here it's going to go somewhere else, whatever. Just a big thumpy bass line. But we're going to come up here and we're going to put it in actual tune. So we want it to come in here. There's a big A. Big A. Do we have an octave down? We do. Can I drag a MIDI bass? I can. Oh, that's so cool. I can drag the bass line back into easy bass. No way. I didn't know that was a thing you could do. I can simplify. I can stop playing music. I can simplify it down to 0 notes. So what's this? So I can, if I choose to, have this like lesser bass. You see, so this is the normal one. So this is the difference between the two. So I was just using the amount dial here on easy bass, and you see that like it completely cut down some of these. So now I feel like there's probably too many, so let's up that a little bit. We'll just -5 it. So all right, guys, we're just learning some new stuff today. I wonder if we drop all this, which I imagine is some sort of key switching. Okay, I'm into that. I'm into that vibe. I'm into that vibe. Are you guys digging that bass line? So that we're just using the Mosaic Base mellow stuff at the minute. I wonder if we've got more aggressive stuff. Let's take a listen to some of those. The playables. Angry but groovy. Is easy bass rock bass or more? Oh, something cool about easy bass, by the way. You can put sub bass in it. And I mean, if you like it and you're so inclined, if you really wanted to, you could just make it your sub. I mean, it's a shit sub, but Why is that going? Bow. That's the wrong one. Man, the sub bass on it, though, is so strong. Like, it's really powerful. Can you feel it? You can't just turn up the sub bass. Sub bass go burr. It's a big D tune. I know, we're all over the place today. So many new things to play with. That's got some vibe. Definitely won't work with that though. What do you guys think of that kind of vibe, though? That, you know, we're using. It doesn't feel like a synthwave thing that we're doing. Do you know what I mean? Look at this shit. Why is this still on my screen? I just realized I was on the actual wrong monitor there. But yeah. Can you expand when you determine if something will or will not work? It's literally just using your ears. You get a vibe like this might work. My dog's going crazy at the door. I can't answer it, I'm working, so. Keeping that. So she'll bark herself out in a minute. What was she barking at?
Pizza delivery. I ordered some pizza.
You ordered a pizza? Trying to find like a cool ambient. You know? Drums need more punch. No, they don't. Yeah, they do. There you go. You know what? I'll probably layer them up with something. we could try dope. We could see if dope works. Hang on. let's just save this as like rock groove or some shit. Sorry, I'm saving it now because you know, like I just realized there's stuff happening and it sounds okay. I mean, it's not my greatest work, but rhythms. Like I need to figure out what this problem is. So contact 6 UI for some reason. Can you see how long it takes for certain things to actually now whatever the last one was using had something within it that was making everything lag. I don't know why it keeps doing that, but yeah. Let's go for space raindrops. That sounds fun. Now, I like that as a vibe, but I can't use it in that multi-timbral instrument because we have something else. So I'm going to render that as audio because I actually quite like that. You think I have to call Trent Reznor now and say what? Sup, Trent? How's it going, bro? How's it going, mate? You all right? How's your synth life? How's your synth life doing? I don't know why he's gone Australian all of a sudden. All right there, Trent. All right there, Peaky Blind. The accents have gone crazy today. What I could do to make like this lead part, which is getting quite Resident Evil for this actually, but we could put an LFO in there and attach that to this, but not have it going wild like that. So we need to slow that way the fuck down. So what that's going to do is, because we got this cool line, right? I'm just going to put it on repeat. Because we have like, I think it's cool. I'm going to call it a cool line. So what this distortion's doing, you see that what I did is I picked out the frequency of which it's, you know, resonating. And I'm distorting just that. Right? Because then I have kind of control. But what I'm doing is so distortion, like, distortion's an interesting thing because it's an input. I mean, they're all input-based, really, let's be honest. But it's like an input-based effect, which means what you put into it has a huge effect on what comes out the other side. I know that applies to anything. You know, what you put, if you put something different in the front, it's coming out different in the back. But what I mean by it is you can overload into a distortion in unique ways that not a lot of people realize or ever do. So, for example, not that you would ever do this, but if before the distortion, which is, where is it? Right. If I put before the distortion, like a peak. So I'm pulling parts out of the sound. Right? If I was to put this after, because look, I've put it, it's hard to see because they're both fab filter. But you see, like this is the distortion here. And this is the distortion. This is Saturn 2, and then this is the EQ. If I put the EQ afterwards, this might hurt your ears. You see, it's just... Right, you see it? Right? But if we just switch around the order in which they are, so that the EQ goes into the distortion. So now we could actually, if we want to, let's find an actual. Let's say that one, which is. So what I'm trying to do is show you. So if you look on Saturn, you see I'm creating new peaks. You see it moving around? So we'll move it to there. That one was a weird one. So what I'll do is I'll create a new little slice just over that. Now, compensate. I mean, you could just overload the fuck out of it. But you see, the reason I'm showing you this is if I was to do this EQ sweep after the distortion, it would be hurting your ears. And that's what I meant by a guitar is an input-based instrument. What I mean by that is you can like distort the sound, compress the sound, fuck it up, overdrive it, clip it, do anything. Just drive it super hard. But if you put it into a distortion, the distortion takes that and uses the input and then converts it into distortion. That is what they do, I know. But a lot of people just don't think of it that way for some reason. I don't know why. You know what I mean? Like they just don't realize that doing stuff into a distortion makes how the distortion acts different. Anyway, back to the point of why I'm doing that. So I'm adding this LFO. So basically what's going to happen is every time this LFO, well, you can see the little blue line. So sometimes it's going to be quiet. Like that. And then other times it's going to distort. So it just keeps it a little bit more, less, it keeps it more interesting. Kind of cool. I also bought the Easy Drummer, which is a thing. But we'll do that on the next one because I actually want to see what this sounds like with dope. Let's bring in dope. Dope became one of my favorite. I don't know why. I just love the crunch. And you see that's an aesthetic choice. Like I like I like hip hop drums in general. Clan. You have one Vox sample, and it's about a bloke going, clan. When is that ever relevant? Anyway. One. Okay. Okay, we're going with one. This song is now called One. One. I thought he said clam as well. One. Oh. Drums by himself. This makes him a bit clearer, I think. With the one selling it, obviously. I wonder if we just drop down to like a just a kick snare like pattern thing, you know? And then bring in like the pitch down version of this. So now we have it three. Oh, that's creepy. I like it. Let's have it. Oh, that's so dissonant. Ooh. Ooh. Like, you can get some really weird vibes on this, actually. I actually want it to... Yeah, I was going to say, I want it to be a bit more side to side. That's kind of cool. No. That's so, you know what I mean? It's nasty. 1. Okay, so that is what? C. That, was it? I actually wanted it to be one of these, didn't I? It's like one of these ones. Nope. Almost. That's what it's going to play, and we can do like this is very action strings in this way, and we could bring like the key switch down to the da na 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 na. Don't do that. Oh, we got shreds. Then we go to a shred. It's kind of funny. So we want like more of a slower one, and we'll put it right at the end. We're going with like that radio static. That's why it was sounding weird, because the fucking microphone was only half. No, I was happy with it. I was happy with that one coming through there. I'll just render one of these out. We'll use it as a WAV file. By the way, this speaker plugin is also new. It was that time of year when I get all the things that I've been meaning to purchase for a long time. Okay, let's stop the one nonsense.
One. Whoa. 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 Yo. Yo. Yeah.
Yeah.
What up?
What up? Yep, we're going with that. We're going with that. I love it. Can we make the snare any better? I think this would probably be better if we played it like... I wonder if we just make it... It's really... Let's put them back. One could argue that everything I do is hybrid wave. Like as a counter to Swift's point, one could argue that I am constantly in a state of hybrid wave. A perpetual state of hybrid wave, one might say. I actually really like what they did with the rhythms and stuff on these. Or the actual rhythmic ones. Doesn't quite work there, does it? We'll keep the idea for later, though. We'll keep the idea for later. You see, something's making the UI lag now. Weird. Okay, I like that as a kind of thing. For some reason, it's harmonic minor, right? Someone tell me what this is. I think it's harmonic minor. With the so in D minor, it's like D minor, except I'm sharpening the 7. I'm sharpening the C. It's D minor with a sharp C. So these are the chords we have. No. That's the like the romantic thing, isn't it? That used to be romance. That used to be romance in a nutshell. I feel like this is sounding quite production already. Well, you want it to be in D minor. Well, no. How Valor, you start in D minor. Technically, I'm still playing it in D minor because I've detuned my keyboard. That one's more of a guideline than an actual rule. Right. That sounds a bit shite. So let's distort it up again. Oh, this is doing some weird shit and I'm loving it. Let's listen. It's a cool tone. Oh, I kind of like that. I'm down with that. I don't think I've ever used their presets. Let's have a look. What should we? Guitar amps. Back in the day. God. they don't really do much. I'm actually going to change this out. I'm going to try some Crush Station vibe instead. Almost immediately there. What patch is that you're messing with in Saturn? The Audio 3 file in your DAW. Audio 3. Where's my Audio 3 file? What Audio 3 file am I messing with? This? Oh, yeah, this. This is this. Or but because it's so distorted stuff, I pitched it down and it broke. But the breaking is so dissonant, it kind of works tonally. Oh, didn't mean to do that. I want like some sort of I need like an ARP. I need like an ARP. What have I got that's got an ARP? We could try the keys. Let's try the keys. I never your help with my music. Stems 78908. I never help. I never your help with my music. I never your help. I never your help with my music. Never. Never your help. I'll take advice. Just, I never your help with my music. That's a really cool vibe, actually. Fucking yeah. Fucking hell. Look at how messy that MIDI is. Oh, God. Quantize the ends. Right. Hmm. What are we making there? Like an A. Right. Whatever. So what? G? That is so good. I don't know if you guys noticed that. I just dragged the MIDI part here. I just dragged the MIDI part into the bass and managed to change the key. I managed to change the key in the app, and it changed all of those notes for me. Not, you know, if it was a longer part, sure. Oh, no, I did that wrong, didn't I? So we actually start in... what did I play? I play G, so... Fucking hell. So that's going to be what? What is that going to be? Yeah, it's a tone down from the fifth. It's a D. It's actually a D minor, isn't it? Is it a D minor? We'll see. Right, it was a D minor. There's your D minor. Man, I love this bass line, though. I'm just going to listen to this, like, shifted. Yeah, this is working. This is working, I think. You guys think this is working? The only problem with this is there's no dynamics. I need them dynamics on my pads. Oh, I wonder what that was. This is a thing where keep going, please. Impressive track. How about no, Satan? Yeah, let me load up my UVI. The reason, by the way, sometimes when I jump to the main camera when I'm loading stuff is every now and again I'm working on something I'm not supposed to show you. And every now and again, whenever I open up anything that shows my file structure, even though the projects I'm working on are like hidden, they're in folders that don't have the actual names of the things I'm working on, you know, all the kind of defenses, it will still manage to be like, oh, did you save a patch that one time? Needs bagpipes. Oh, you fucking what, mate? Fucking what? I'll give you what for. Right, let's load up them DX7s. Get the bells. Beauty hybrid. Contact, right? That's just a piano. Well, that's what I mean, Minnie. But it's like sometimes I've had projects that I'm working on before, Mini Bus Pug, just like the folder name. You know what I mean? Even the folder name's fake, but like the project file name has got like the name of the. And I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake. I mean, that does a good job layering. We'll do it there, but then after that, it's playing something else. Play all the wrong notes. I mean, it can help to sell the other sound, but it doesn't really do much by itself. So I actually wanted pads. Not what I had in mind, but we'll go with it. Anyway, I think that's today's stream, like, because I have got work that I have to actually do as well today. So that is actually going to be today's stream. We managed to get 3 hours. We got a look in at all the UJam. We got some writing in. We got some easy bass. Geez, we covered a lot today. But I'm going to have to get going in a second, guys, and I definitely want some of that pizza. Now that she said pizza, I want pizza. So I'll give you guys a few minutes to... we're not going right away. So if you guys have any questions about any of the instruments and stuff or anything you've tried to ask that I've missed, just completely missed, let me know and we'll deal with it now. We'll deal with it. Great content. Love the Carbon plugin. Didn't know about it. Yeah, it's a good one, isn't it? It's a good one. So, the restrictions. The restrictions. So first of all, okay. Yeah, I'm thinking about it. Right. So first of all, hang on. Wait for it to stabilize. Wait for the lag to stabilize. I don't know why it lagged for a second then. Probably JJ. She's probably started streaming too. Right, the restrictions. So first restriction. Can you guys hear me? Just let me know you're back. Let me know you're back. Okay. So the first restriction. This is coming from the have you tried this? This is coming from the producers, so this is nothing to do with me. So first of all, I haven't tried that. No, sorry. Restriction number 1, can't be longer than 2 minutes 30, even with the tail. Even with the 2 minutes 45, even with the tail. Actually, no, 2 minutes 30 is better. So the first restriction, It's not allowed to be longer than 2 minutes 30. So if you've done more than 2 minutes 30, you're going to have to figure out a way to cut it down. Right? You got to cut that shit down. Find the good bits. Find the good bits. No, 45. It's 2:30. I'll tell you what. I'll give you a bone. 2:35. That's what you get. No longer than 2:35. If I see 2:36, you don't even get a listen. Right. So Pytox, that's going to be your thing. You've got to figure out how to cut it down. At least I'm not framing you. At least I'm not like saying somewhere in the middle there's 3 frames now cut out that you have to figure out. Right. Second restriction. It has to have an electric guitar. No, not electric guitar. It has to have an electric bass. It has to have a bass line in it, right? It has to have at least one bass in it. Not just even if it's just a breakdown, but at some point for at least a good few bars, you know what I mean? Like the chat will hold you accountable. You have to have a bass guitar in it at some point. It could just be a few bars, but it has to be. I feel like, let me play something. I'll tell you when the right length is. Has to be at least like 2 bars. Has to be at least 2 full bars of bass guitar in there. Can it have live sound? Yeah, you can have live sounding drums. That's an absolute thing. Hal Valor, you can have a bass kazoo, but that's not a general rule. So 2 minutes 30. It now has to have a bass guitar because the CEO's son plays bass guitar, and so he loves bass at the minute, and he thinks that bass is the best instrument. So that's why you've got to add a bass guitar. What other things? What other things would they say? Yeah, no matter what key you've got it in, right? No, that's harsh. That's way too harsh. I'm trying to think of things that are fair. What else would be fair? Has to have a bass guitar. Has to be that. I mean, like, what would be harsh is if I said, and it has to be like swung, you know, or it has to be a triplet feel. That would be harsh, but I'm not going to do that. Who are they? They are the imaginary people. They are the imaginary, like, clients from hell that give you the notes. Okay. And it has to have, this one has to have a vocal line or at least a vocal sample that is adding something to the music. You can't just go, You know what I mean? You could do a beatbox rhythm. You can sing, but they've decided they like you so much as a composer. They want you to be featured in the thing, right? So it needs a bass guitar. Your voice has to be in it somewhere. You can't just say one. You can't just one. But like you have to have something in there of your voice. You can affect the fuck out of it, but it has to clearly be a voice. You know what I mean? Like you can't affect it so much you can't tell it's a voice. But it has to have a voice, a bass guitar. It can't be longer than 2 minutes 30. So these are the 3 new rules. How many people has this fucked up? Can vocalies count? No, I want to hear what you do with your voice. If you are not confident with your own voice, then find a way to affect it. But they've decided they want you to put a human voice in it, your voice. I'm curious to see what you guys do. It doesn't have to be singing. You don't have to sing. But you have to use your voice in some way. And we have to be able to recognize what the voice is. Okay? But that's what makes it fun. Because I imagine some of you have never done that before. And you'd be surprised how powerful your voice can be. Do you think that's fair? Do you think that's fair? Are you guys happy with these? I mean, you don't get a choice, but I'm asking, do you feel that these are enough to keep you going? No, I mean, you can put the pufferfish in and make a melody, but it has to have your voice in there somewhere. Even if you're like, you know, just, I hear the beast. You can have as many effects on it as you want. So they are going to be your rules. But anyway, guys, I'm going to eat some pizza. Those are your restrictions. So next week we will be going over, and I think I will have another man-eater key as a reward for next week's one. So hopefully you guys can deal with it. You don't have a voice? Do you have a phone or anything like that that you can record into? That's how I record some of my voice samples. Do you have a cell phone that has a recording function that you could send to your computer? Yeah, you can't have it. You can use a gaming headset. You can use anything. Just listen around. And again, the more creative you are with how you use the voice, like you'll get like brownie points. You'll get, you know what I mean? Try and be creative with it. It's something you don't want to do. And like if a client said that to you, what would you say? I don't want to do vocals. I don't want it. It's like you can say that, but they won't be best pleased. So it's like I want to hear how creative you get with it. That's the point of these notes. The notes isn't to make it easy it's to make you think in a way, it's to make you jump a hurdle. Jumping a hurdle will make your legs stronger, okay? Sample library. No, Bromf, it's got to be your voice, mate. Come on, you can do it. We all believe in you. Can I do another 3 hours? Not today. I may stream again during the week at some point. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the stream today. Did you enjoy the look at UJam? We will be, again. So the new ones that we've got to look at are the Mosaic series, which we've dived into a couple of times now. The UJam series, they're going to be part of the hybrid wave. By the way, if you if you didn't realize, the UJam drum samples I was using today are full featured. There's a full featured trial version of each of them, so go check them out and add them to your tracks if you want to. You're not my client, you're my king. You don't pay me, you demand. Yes, you are my lords. My lords, I command that you use your voice. Clay, you've sent that to me like 5 times now. I've checked it out, dude. I haven't used it. I may check it out. It's on a window somewhere. Bromf, do with it however you please. But these are that you interpret the brief how you see fit. But the producers from up high, they were the notes you gave. If you think that's what they want to hear, and remember, it's the chat that's going to judge you. So you can play a little bit. The Beatmaker UJam stuff. Yeah, there's trial versions of all of those. So make sure and go check them out and get them in the tracks. This new DJ reminds me to Joseph. I like writing in D, Stalin. Are you fuck off? But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed today's stream. If you're not already following, make sure to hit the follow button. If you don't get follow notifications or whatever, but you do want to be notified when I'm going live, make sure to follow me on Twitter at H2Daniel. I'll write that in the stream for you there. Hang on, this thing's falling out. Right, H2Daniel. At H2Daniel in Twitter. 2-minute shark song. Okay, it better be good, Gaz. Maddie.
Look at them teeth. Whoa.
That is intense, Gaz. I'm going to have to listen to that off stream, though, because it's a bit intense and I need to get to work in a minute. But thank you for submitting that. That was awesome. You did remind me, though, by the way, guys, the Man-Eater soundtrack is now out on Spotify. Fuck, let me find the link. Gaz, you're going to have to get in earlier, mate. You're going to have to get in earlier if you want me to go over these things. You can't catch me as I'm leaving and then expect me to fucking hell, what is it? I can't find it with a Google search. That's not good. Did you find it for me, Hal Valor? Thank you. Jesus, that took me too long to find. Yeah. Is that the same link? Yeah. Well done. You beat me to it. Fucking hell. Anyway, so yeah, the soundtrack to Maneater is now out on Spotify. I know some of you were asking. So you missed my singing bit. It's Gaz, I'll check it out offline. Or and no, you know what, Gaz, send it to me in the next stream when we're starting. Don't send it to me at the end, because then we can actually go through it. Arc Shark is on there. Yeah, Arc Shark is in fact, let me just double check. Let me just fucking double check it. Let me stop being lazy. Right. So yeah, here we go. Right, here we go. So we've got Shark in the River. We've got the prologue theme, which is this thing. Bromf. The other thing was a bass guitar. Then we got all the things. There's Arc Shark, which is... By the way, can I just point out, right? I know people give me shit when I do like electronic music and beaty music and stuff like that, or like rock and roll music, all these kinds of things. But the thing is, this was a professional job I did, right? And I had to know how to do this. They don't teach you how to do that in classical music school. They don't teach you about that in orchestration. Big action sequences. Yeah, I know. It's the weirdest thing. Spotify, like I am a verified like Spotify person. I have my own profile, but for some reason it doesn't show up to any of the distribution platforms. It's like it's closed off or something. So I need to like I've tried, but I need to contact Spotify again and say like move my shit to move the shit to my actual thing. But that's what I'm saying. It's like people like I get a lot of a hard time, and people don't like want to watch when I'm doing, when I'm doing like the electronic, the rock music or whatever on the stream, is when I get like the lowest viewer figures, right? Most people tune in when I'm doing purely orchestral or epic, which is fine, right? I'm not having to go at people for that. But this job alone, I had to do at least like 5 different styles, right? I had to do 5 different styles that were like, well, not 5, maybe like 3 that weren't orchestral, right? And you see all those people that are tuning out when I'm doing this, when they get projects like this, well, they're not going to get projects like this. You know what I mean? If you're not sticking around to see how all of the tools work, if you're only sticking around to see how a very specific set of tools work, you're only ever going to be able to do a very specific set of music. You're only ever going to be able to, like, the reason my music is quite eclectic and quite all over the place is because I listen, study, and explore all of the tools that I can, because then jobs like this come up and I get to write in one track. I get to go like this. In the next, I'm doing this. Then we move to this. And then this. You know what I mean? Like, this score goes all over the fucking place, but you wouldn't be able to do a score like this if you were only tuning in for orchestral streams. Yeah, I did like that one. But it's not even about being versatile. Like, I don't think that I'm that well, yeah, maybe I am, but like it's like I don't consider it versatility. I consider it like being open-minded. I consider it like learning everything you can, because we're like, I mean, like it's no skin off my back, but I worry for those people because like I say, whenever I do these streams, the viewer counts are much lower, and there are people who, you know, you saw him in the chat room today, who do complain that I'm not doing the orchestral thing. And they're the people I kind of worry about because, you know, if they're not interested in any of this at all, you know, it may just be me. They may just look at me and be like, fuck that, which is a fair response to seeing this. That is a fair response. But what I mean is that like the unwillingness to see where I'm going with these tools, or the unwillingness to see what these tools are able to do, is only a bad thing for you in the long term, because, you know, like they're all production techniques. You know, the people I think that are going to benefit the most are the people who are here for the orchestral ones, the ones who are here for the writing streams, the ones who are here. Like those of you who are here all the time, I think are probably the ones who are going to have the more interest in music, not because you're watching me. If you were watching anyone who is doing what I'm doing, like covering all of the aspects, like, does anyone else do that? But anyone who does like proper orchestral arrangements and then like dancey stuff and you know, making up genres and stuff like that, I think that you guys are kind of going to learn more because you're going in all these directions, and because we're fucking up so openly, because we're trying things like on the stream and they're going, that just completely does not work. You guys are learning that too. And then when you get a job like I got with Manny, to where they're like, hey, some of the tracks are going to be rock, some are going to be electronic, some are going to be orchestral, you'll be able to jump in and have all of these tips and tricks that you worked out with me. Like, you're working them out with me. And that's why you guys are going to have an advantage. Not just because you're watching me, but because you're watching variety in music. You guys, I think, are going to have a good chance of being more original because you are the types of people who are open-minded to listening to, okay, they're loading up a hip hop drum beat, you know, like, let's see where this goes. And like what we wrote today wasn't particularly rock, or it wasn't particularly anything, but we used retro drums, we used hip hop drums, we used funky bass, we used cinematic arpeggios, we used strings, you know what I mean? Like, they go all over the place. But anyway, you get what I'm trying to say though, right? Like, it makes me worried for those people. It's like I wish that those people were here as well to explore these things, because it would be interesting, you know, even if they're not enjoying it all the time, to get a feel for it. But anyway, do make sure you go check out the Man-Eater soundtrack now on Spotify. If you, and all the other links are down below, SoundCloud, all that kind of stuff. But anyway, thank you guys for joining the stream today. Today's outro music will be the rock groove. That's all we called it, the outro music. But thank you so much for joining today. I genuinely appreciate you being here and sitting through these more eclectic ones. They are fun to do. They're probably more difficult to watch, so I apologize for that. But thank you so much for joining today. And I will see you guys, all of you, next week. Thank you. Ta-da.